was yesterday years old when I found out that some Americans believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows and strawberry milk comes from strawberry cows that are pink that eat strawberries, and that's why the milk is strawberry flavoured. Yeah.
And find out. So this morning, I was walking my dog. I heard a car pull up next to me, and it was my neighbor, Jack. And Jack is an older white man. He lives in California now for a long time, but he's from, I think, Boston, so he's got that accent. And Jack and I have always been pretty friendly, despite Jack being of a certain generation and making certain comments. I've always just kind of been like, whatever. So he pulls up next to me, and he says, "Are you mad at me?" And I said, "Jack, I'm mad at everybody. I'm mad at the world. I'm mad at men. I'm mad at people who voted for Trump. I'm mad that he won. Did you vote for Trump?" He said, "I have a son. I have a son, and he hasn't spoken to me for 7 years because I voted for Trump the first time." And I said, 7 years, huh? I said, "Okay, so I guess you voted for him the second time too. Did you vote for him this third time?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, then we're done here, and good for your son." And Jack's face was so sad, and he was so confused and didn't know why I'm having this response. Apparently he hasn't learned from his son disowning him 7 years ago, which, bravo for the son, good for you. He expects me to be his friend. He still wants his liberal lesbian friend to smile at him and say hi and have funny little banter back and forth. No, babe, that's over. That's over. All your little weird little old man comments, nope, done. Judging you for all of them. In fact, don't speak to me. Don't talk to me. We are not friends anymore. So after I explained this to him, that we are not going to be friends anymore, and I don't give a shit about him, he's dead to me, he has the nerve to say to me, "Look, in 4 years, everything's going to be fine, and maybe we can talk then." Fuck no. Go fuck yourself, Jack. No, babe. Bye.
Welcome to another MAGA FAFO stories. I am Fikazo. Let me ask you, for example, you have a friend or a brother who is close to you, and he or she is a MAGA person, or yes, he's a MAGA person. Would you give your organ to save her? Would you give your organ to save him? Tell me in the comment section, what do you think? People are not getting invitations from the family gathering, from holidays, but when it reached this point of giving an organ, would you give your organ to a MAGA friend, brother, or sister? Tell me in the comment section.
So I was recently in the process of possibly donating one of my organs to someone who is MAGA. And as y'all know, I'm progressive, someone that I know, love, and care about, but haven't spoken to in many years, is in desperate need of an organ. They are indeed MAGA. Many years ago, me and this individual, we did have an argument on social media about their support for MAGA, and I was blocked then, and many years later, I am still blocked. In early October, this individual began asking for donors, and the same day I heard is the same day that I filled out the application. After you fill out the application, you are then paired with a transplant nurse coordinator who kind of takes you through a process of elimination to see if you are a match. In the beginning of this process, I was very gung-ho about it. Like, my attitude was like, you need an organ, I got an organ, so I got you. But the more that I talked to the nurse and the more information that they were emailing me, it got very real. I started to realize that your body, mentally and physically, it takes a toll going through this living donor process. I started to be concerned about my finances. I started to worry about my recovery and hoping that it would go as planned. I started to worry about if there were complications, maybe long-term complications. Would insurance would it cover it? Even though I had second thoughts about the process, I was still leaning toward doing it. Now keep in mind, the recipient, I don't think that they ever knew that I was going through the process at all. I never spoke to them throughout this process. My plan was to drop my organ and just keep it moving. So now we come to the part of the process where I need to schedule my physicals, and this is where they determine whether or not I am a match. And it is 2 days worth of physicals where I will meet with surgeons. I'll do blood work, x-rays, EKG, MRI, CT scans. It's a lot. It's intense. And this is around the same time that Donald Trump wins this election. And so now I really start to second guess this whole process and whether I want to do it. With the way that Trump has already removed access to women's health care, with the way that in his previous term, his administration tried to repeal the ACA over 40 times, and he has promised to continue trying to dismantle the ACA in his current term. I do not know what insurance coverage will look like under a second Donald Trump term, and I am not at all confident that if I do go through this process and I, for whatever reason, experience complication, that I will get the medical treatment that I need and that it will be covered under insurance. As a result of that Donald Trump win, my concerns for my finances, for my health, my recovery, and my insurance skyrocketed. So as a result of that, on November 10th, I decided to remove myself from the living donor process. I just felt like it would be very dangerous for me to undergo any medical procedures at a time when our medical services are being taken away from us and our insurance is being dismantled by the incoming MAGA administration. This whole situation is extremely unfortunate, and I do love and care about the person needing the organ, and I really hope that they find a donor. The best of luck to them.
Now, at this point, for example, you are sitting on one table with the MAGA family members and you are discussing about politics, about what's going on. And remember, we are in a festive season. I would like to ask you how you can exchange conversation. But this brother here, he is telling you, or he's teaching you how you can behave when you're with MAGA person and you are debating or you are discussing about politics and something of a sort.
So you're going to the family gathering where there will be Trump supporters, and you want to debate them. How do you do it and win? Hi, my name is Keegan, and I'm an expert in political psychology. All right, first, you need to accept that there's about a 99.9% chance you ain't gonna change anyone's mind. 3 keys. First, you need to detach emotionally. You'll come off more objective, confident, and fact-based. Being detached also helps you be funny, which increases your likability, which, let's get real, that's even more important than facts when it comes to debating, unfortunately. Plus, you're in this for the fun, right? Key number 2, winning is not changing the mind of the person you're debating with, but of the audience watching you. The final key is to try to understand why, on an emotional level, this person supports Trump. Fear of immigrants, fear of trans ideology brainwashing their kids, hostility towards women's rights, fear of crime, selfish greed. If you could do a 1-2 punch of fact and then what emotion is causing them to have the views that they have, you're winning. For example, immigrants commit crime at a lower rate than native-born Americans. So what, you're just afraid of brown people? I love asking questions as a way of delivering my talking points, especially when you're talking about their emotions. You come off less like you're accusing them, less like you're attacking them, and more open-minded. Plus, it keeps you more in control because you're dictating the conversation. Very important in winning a debate. And they might start grumbling, blah, immigrants cost us, blah, 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 whatever. Hit them with facts. Immigrants pay more in taxes than they actually cost us, and circle back to them being afraid for no good reason. Do not let them change topics. Whenever a conservative gets caught, their number one strategy is to try to change the subject. Pounce on them for running away. So much of winning a debate is confidence and self-control. Sadly, it's less about the substance of what you say, the factual accuracy of what you say, and it's more about the appearance of how you say it. Just make sure you keep in mind that you probably won't be changing any minds and that you're debating for the fun of it.
If it's safe, are you down to challenge family members on their bullshit? MAGA's a cult. cult survivor here, like, it's hard to deprogram. I'll say that my most successful pushback has come in the form of questions. In deprogramming from the cult that I left, like, the questions helped the most. And I did not engage with them at the time that they were asked, and I was very stubborn and I doubled down at the time, but the questions stayed with me. Why is it that you think that? Why do you feel comfortable telling me that? Did you know that when you talk about not caring about someone's pain, did you know that that pushes me away? That I feel less close to you? Did you know that? So, like, I think it's really powerful to give someone a question mark. Self-advocacy and advocacy for people who aren't in the room. I wouldn't say go in expecting to change anyone's minds, but rather to like yourself at the end of the day, saying, I didn't just tolerate comments that weren't.
As we come closer to the festive season, or some people have already started the festive season, or they're already in the festive season, people are not getting invitation. People are not getting invited. For example, like in the Thanksgiving, we saw some people who are not invited by their families, their parents, who didn't get an invitation of Thanksgiving. Let me ask you, you're attending Christmas with your family? Maybe you have a MAGA family. Are you attending Christmas? Are you going to visit them? Are you giving them gifts? Tell me in the comment section how you're going to behave in this festive season with your MAGA friend, MAGA brother.
Hey, we actually have some data concerning people who were cutting off their family because they voted for Trump. And the results are a lot more prodigious than you might expect. This comes from USA Today and Harris. We see that 1 in 2 adults are presently estranged from a close relative. 2 in 5 attribute this to political difference. And 1 in 7 say that this happened in the last month. Now, here's the demographic breakdown. And as you can see, the yes column is up. The no column is here on the question of whether you have been estranged by an immediate family member. Women, slightly more for 36%. And 40% is the top rate for 18 through 54. You know, the Gen Xers who voted for Trump? Yeah. They have entered the find out phase concerning the question of whether they will even be able to have a relationship with their family. And they're being cut off everywhere, including social.
Now, let me ask you, when it comes to deportation, that's a plan for Trump to deport undocumented immigrants in the US. A few days ago, we've heard that Miami have given 0 grant, and we know. And some people believe that deportation is going to happen, but some didn't believe it. But remember, when they deport you, there might be a country to receive you. Okay? So now,
when it comes to American politics, many people are scared about the mass deportation, but no one is talking about the facts of what happens when you deport people or the logistics behind deporting people. For starters, when you deport people, the country you're deporting them to has to accept them. So if America plans on deporting that amount of people, that becomes an inconvenience to other countries. The planning, you then have to accept all these flights into your airport. That's a loss of money at the airports, depending on how much flights you want to be putting in every single day. So what's going to happen is all these detention camps are going to end up becoming prison camps. And then what happens at prison camps? They're going to be making all your stuff. And that's how he's going to get around the tariffs. He's going to have a whole bunch of prisoners making American goods. Disgusting. I can't believe y'all voted this in. Crazy.
Now, people are not sure if this is going to happen. You know, still, some they still denying that it's not going to happen. What do you think about the deportation? Because it's something that takes a budget. It's something that, you know, you cannot do it for free. You cannot do it like, you know, you have to pay tickets for those people. I don't know. Maybe Trump has a budget, but me also, I'm not sure. I'm not getting it how he's planning to deport 20 million people. How do you think that he's going to deport 20 million, even more than that? Tell me in the comment section.
I think a lot of us are understanding that there's not going to be a find out phase because one of the main characteristics of a cult is the inability to take responsibility or to recognize the fault of your group cult. My question is, most cults eventually end, obviously. Are we going to see an end to this? When is the end? What will it take for them to have this illusion broken? what is going to be the catalyst for the ending of this cult, or is it going to be like Scientology? Like some cults don't, or haven't yet, or have very long lifespans. So like realistically, from somebody who knows more about this than I do, I am curious to know how we see this panning out. What's it going to take? Is there anything that can disillusion them, or is this just something that we're going to have to live with forever?
All right. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. It's a MAGA FAFO season continues. More stories are coming. Keep subscribing, keep liking, and keep sharing this video. And see you in the next video.